welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman, and today we're doing another sight reading challenge with 3 different exercises from Sight Reading Trainer Book 1. Let's get started with exercise 132. As these exercises get more challenging, I like to start by looking ahead and just seeing what's coming. So, taking a glance at the whole exercise, what do you notice? You might notice that we're starting to use whole rests. This kind of rectangle that floats below a staff line like this is called, wow, sorry, that's a little scratchy looking. Oh my goodness. That's called a whole rest. It looks a lot better here. A whole rest, I remember, because it kind of looks like a hole. If you're imagining walking along, don't fall in the hole. A whole rest, it means to rest for the whole measure. So the right hand in this measure plays nothing. It's just going to rest, while the left hand plays ta, 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 ta. And then what do you notice here? Another whole rest. See, if you were walking along on that line, you'd fall in that hole. And then another whole rest here. And then here, is that a hole? No, this one kind of looks like a hat, right? Can you imagine a little top hat on a guy, right? A hat sounds like half. Think hat for half. And that's called a half rest. And a half rest just takes up 2 beats, which is half of the measure, 1, 2. So do nothing for 2 beats. It's really the same thing as 2 quarter rests, but a quicker way to draw it. So that's a half rest followed by a half note, which also gets 2 beats, 3, 4. Now you also might have noticed we have some sharps now. So our sight reading challenges are definitely getting more tricky. Whenever you see a sharp in front of a note, that means to raise that a half step. So we have an F here, but because of the sharp right in front of it, that would be F sharp, played right there. Now that we've identified some of the challenges that are coming, let's do our steps. What clefs do you see? She said treble clef and bass clef, you're correct. That's what we expect to see. And what's our time signature? If you said 4/4, you're correct. So our next step is to tap and count the beat out loud. So can you try this with me? Use your left hand to tap all the bass clef notes. Use your right hand to tap the treble clef notes. And we're going to count 4 beats to get ready, and then we'll start. So count out loud and tap. I'm going to count, but I'd like you to do all the tapping. And don't forget to count along with me as well. Here's 4 beats to get ready, then we'll start. Get ready with your left hand. Here's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. Left hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, while the left hand plays this whole note, 1, 2, and the left hand's going to keep holding while the right hand rests for 2 beats, 1, 2. The left hand plays while the right hand rests, and then the right hand joins in on 3, 4, adding that chord. The next step is to point and name the letter name for each note. Can you tell me the letter name for this first note? If you said A, you're correct. It's A, just a little bit below middle C. Now let's keep going. Say the letter names. If you said A, G, F sharp, A, you're correct. Now try this measure. Can you say the letter names? If you said D, E, F sharp, D, you're correct. Remember, the sharp always goes in front of the note that it's affecting. So this is F sharp. Can you say the letter names here? If you said A, G, G, F sharp, you're correct. And then we have a chord. Can you tell me the 2 notes that build this chord? If you said D and A, you're correct. So that would be a D-A chord. Let's try to play it on the piano. So now it's time to find our hand position. Since the left hand starts, let's find the left hand position first. Can you use the first note and finger number to find the position on your piano? Finger 1 is on A, and we need to use the A that's very nearby but a little below middle C. And because we have an F sharp coming, we'll be kind of in this D major pentascale. Now, can you find the position for your right hand? It asks for finger 1 on D, just a step above middle C. The right hand also has some F sharps, which also places us in a D major pentascale. So now, with your hands in the correct position, and remembering to keep your eyes on the page, not on your fingers. Once your hands are set, just trust that your fingers are where they need to be. Keep your eyes on the page, pause, and try it 2 times. 1 time playing and saying the letter names, and then 1 time play and count the beat. Then press play, and I'll show you the correct answer. Here's what it should sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that matched what you played, great job. If you need more practice, you can always pause. But if you're ready, let's go on to the next exercise. Now, we're actually going to back up a little bit to exercise 122. I wanted to look at this one together because it's one of the trickier ones in Sight Reading Trainer Book 1. What clefs do you see? Treble clef, bass clef, and what's our time signature? If you said 4/4, you're correct. Now, taking a look ahead, what do you notice? Probably notice the left hand is playing lots of chords, but the chords change. So let's figure out what chords we're doing here. Can you tell what interval between these 2 notes? If you said a 5th, you're correct. We have a C and G chord. Same chord, same chord, same chord. What 2 notes do you see here? When the notes are too close, they have to kind of go squished together side by side diagonally like that. And we have an F and a G. Because they share the same stem and they're touching, that means we'll play that as a chord. F and G, hold for 3 beats, F and G, and then back to our C and G chord. Okay, so it's good to notice that. And now let's also notice what's happening in the right hand. What interval do you see here? If you said a 4th, you're correct. A 4th goes from a line, skip a space, skip a line, up to a space. So we went from a line to a space, up a 4th there. Here's another 4th. What interval do you see here? Here it changes to a 3rd, which we can recognize because it goes from a line to a line now. So these are important things to notice. And then from here to here, ignoring those 2 rests for right now, what interval from here to here? It's another 3rd. And then how about from here to here? That's a step down, which we can also call a 2nd. Okay, so we're noticing intervals, we're noticing chords. And then last of all, let's notice the rhythm, because that's our next step to tap the rhythm. Because the hands are taking turns so much, let's see where the beats are falling. It's helpful sometimes to write the beats in the music. And so I encourage you, whenever you want, to take a pencil and go ahead and write the counts in your music. So you see that on beat 1, the left hand plays, but the right hand rests. Then what happens on beat 2? On beat 2, the right hand plays while the left hand is still holding this dotted half note, which lasts for how many beats? If you said 3, you're correct. A dotted half note lasts 3 beats, so it's still going here on beat 3. 1, the left hand plays. 2, 3, the right hand plays. Then what happens on beat 4? The left hand plays while the right hand rests. Notice that left hand had been holding 1, 2, 3, 4, while the right hand goes rest on beat 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be like the hands are taking turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that with me. Tap and count. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here, what happens in measure 2 for the rhythm? We have beat 1. Once again, the left hand plays, right hand rests. On beat 2, remember that these two eighth notes share a beat. So you have to tap T-T inside beat 2. 1, 2. And then beat 3, the right hand plays a quarter note. And then on beat 4, the left hand plays. So all together we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Try this measure with me. Ready, count and tap, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now try this measure with me. Let's tap it and count. Notice we have left hand plays, 2, 3, 4. Tap it with me, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, beat 1, left hand plays, beat 2, right hand plays, beat 3, what happens? Both hands play on beat 3, and then on 4, we're still holding it down because the half note gets 2 beats. So this measure would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now pause the video, and on your own, I'd like you to practice tapping and counting the beat out loud. Say the numbers out loud while you tap this rhythm. Left hand for the bass clef, right hand for the treble clef. Practice tapping and counting, then press play to go on. Let's find the hand position for exercise 122. Can you find on your piano where to place the left hand? Your left hand should be on a C and G chord, and make sure it's the correct C and G. It's not this one, it's not this one. You have to keep track of where middle C is, and because this is bass C, it's the C nearest below middle C, here in bass staff. And then where's the right hand? Remember, you can't always count on the hands being in the same pentascale. Don't ever assume that. You've got to check. The right hand says finger 1 on G. So very interesting, the left hand's in a C position, the right hand is in this G pentascale. So now with your hands in the correct position, I'd like you to pause. And I suggest, because this one's a little bit more tricky than usual, and both hands are doing something different from each other, I suggest you practice the right hand by itself once, the left hand by itself once, and then try it hands together. So pause, and now try and learn and practice 122 until you can play it hands together while counting the beat, and then press play, and I'll show you the correct answer. Here's 122. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that matched what you played, great job. This is one of the trickiest exercises in Sight Reading Trainer Book 1. So, if it didn't go great the first time, that's no problem. Just keep practicing it until it matched what I just played for you. Remember to try and keep your eyes on the page, not your fingers. And it's okay to practice left hand and right hand alone a few times first before you put it hands together. So pause if you need more practice, but if you're ready to go on to the next one, let's check out the next exercise. Last up today, let's check out exercise number 143. Jumping right into the steps, what is our clef? If you said treble clef, you're correct. So let's play this with our right hand since we'll be on the higher notes. And then what's our time signature? If you said 4/4, you're correct. Now, just glancing ahead, what do you notice about this exercise? Probably notice there's lots of chords. 2-note chords, couple of notes, 2-note chord, and now, whoa, a 3-note chord. Notice because it goes space note, space note, space note, you'll know they'll all be a third apart, like this. The bottom note, can you tell me the letter name for this bottom note of the 3-note chord? If you said F, you're correct. And then we just have a skip above, so all together, you'll play it like that. Now, Do you also notice we have a flat today in the exercise? So let's look at this note because the flat only applies to the note it's right in front of. So it does not apply to this bottom note. It only applies to the note that's on the same line or space as the flat. See that? Flat has a line going through it which lines up with that next note, which happens to be a B. And so find B and then lower it a half step for the flat. Remember, flats are like getting a flat tire. So you go down by a half step, just like when your car gets a flat tire, it will go down a little bit. Okay, so there's our B flat with an F on the bottom. So here's that chord. Now let's try tapping and counting this rhythm. How many beats does a dotted half note get? If you said 3, you're correct. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, and then 2/8 notes on beat 4, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want, you can always add in the counts yourself. I'd like you to pause the video and try counting and tapping this rhythm. Then press play and we'll try it together. Okay, let's try it together. I'd like you to count the beat out loud with me and tap the rhythm. I'll count 4 beats to get us started, and then away we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Now, can you say the letter names for each of these chords? What 2 notes do you see here? If you said F and A, you're correct. And then what do you see here? If you said F, F, you're correct. Then back to our F and A chord, F and A chord. And then what note do we add here? We add a C on top. Then we have what 2 notes here? Can you say their letter names? If you said F and B flat, you're correct. And then what do you see here? If you said F and A, you're correct. And then what 2 notes do you see here? If you said F and G, you're correct. F and G, and then back to our FAC chord. Now let's try to play it. Can you show me the hand position for 143? Which hand are we using? If you said right hand, you're correct. Show me on your piano where the right hand belongs. If you placed it right here, you're correct, because we need fingers 1 and 3 on F and A, and we're just a little bit above middle C. So with your hand in this position, I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can practice it until you can play it, no missed notes, while you count the beat out loud, and then press play, and I'll show you the correct answer. Here's 143. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember that the beat is such an important part of music, and that's why I asked you to count out loud while you play. If you don't count the beat out loud, how will you know how long to hold this first note? That's why it's so important to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The counting might feel annoying sometimes, believe me, I know, but it's very important for your musical development and practicing a steady beat and accurate rhythms. So if that matched what you played, great job. If you need more practice, just pause and keep working at it until you have it mastered and can play it with no missed notes and a confident, steady beat, and then you've got it. Great job on today's sight reading challenge. Like I've mentioned before, sight reading is such an important skill for a pianist. The better you are at sight reading, the faster you'll be able to learn new songs and pieces, and with enough practice, someday you can get so good at sight reading that you can simply look at any piece of sheet music and play it on your first try. So I strongly recommend that you continue to practice your sight reading by completing 1 or 2 exercises from Sight Reading Trainer Book 1 every day. Once you've completed every exercise in Book 1, you have a choice. If sight reading still feels kind of tricky or challenging, I suggest that you go back to maybe around exercise number 100 and spend a few weeks reviewing some exercises that you've already done. If you've completed all the exercises in Book 1 and you feel confident about your sight reading skills and you're ready for some new challenges, then feel free to go on and get started in Sight Reading Trainer Book 2, which you can download from the Hoffman Academy website. But it's okay to stay in Book 1 as long as you want. It's important that you feel confident in the basics before moving on to new challenges. Later on, in Unit 6, I'll help you get started in Sight Reading Trainer Book 2 if you haven't already on your own. As always, thank you for joining me on this piano learning journey. Happy practicing, and see you in our next lesson. Hi everyone! Mr. Hoffman asked me to give you one more sight reading challenge for you to try. So, here it is! Good luck!